follow your intuition and get it wrong because that's exactly how you will know, how you will learn how your intuition sounds like. I got a comment on one of my posts on Threads, and someone said, our intuition sometimes it's wrong, and that's okay, something like that. And it made me realize something. So, first, I believe that our intuition is usually right. And it's just a matter of we misinterpret it. Why? Because fear gets involved, because doubt gets involved, conditioning gets involved, noise and voices that are from other people, from society, from expectations, projections, just external noise. And it just makes the communication and the listening more complicated, more complex. And sometimes we get it wrong. But I do believe our intuition is always pointing to our highest good. Sometimes we might not like where we get, but there's always a lesson that we needed to learn. That's my belief. And also, I prefer because intuition sometimes, especially in spiritual spaces, and for me, coming from Reiki and yoga and spirituality earlier in my journey, intuition is all about the third eye. And for us, especially Reiki practitioners, Reiki masters, energy workers, energy healers, sometimes it's intuition is considered, yes, yours, your inner voice, but also something you channel from beyond. You tap into higher wisdom from higher beings, whether you believe in God and guides and universe. And there's reason in that, but the reason I don't particularly like using the word intuition is because it has a little bit of that nuance where it's not just yours, it's also what you channel. And for me, it's more about your natural genius, your inborn genius, your natural wisdom, because you are part of nature and you are part of a whole. So, of course, you're tapping into wisdom, insight that is from beyond, but is also from within yourself. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, intuition is, I believe, our compass. And so, point number one, the reason I found that comment interesting and made me realize that one, for me, intuition is always right. Intuition, your natural wisdom. It's just other voices get in the way. And number two, you have to follow it anyway. The only way we learn the difference between intuition and noise, intuition and fear, intuition and doubt is by getting it wrong. Your job is to get it wrong. As with anything in life, you learn by getting it wrong. And I also believe most of us, all of us, are born intuitive. We're naturally intuitive. And it's also a muscle you get to train and you get to develop. Some people might be more naturally intuitively inclined, but we all get to develop it. And for sure, as babies, we're more intuitive, and then just life and experiences and trauma and just being a human amongst other humans in the society makes it harder to have such a clear communication with that inner voice because other voices come into the conversation in your inner world. Some of them are borrowed, some of them are from traumas, some of them are just inherited, some of them you wish you didn't have, some of them you have to outgrow, some of them you have to overcome. And so it becomes more complex, the conversation within yourself. And it's like a process to, as you grow, as you mature, to relearn what your intuition sounds like. And here's what I want to say. Let's get to point number three. Point number three is, and I will weave what I want to say within this last point. I believe, like, from my experience and like 40 years being a human and 6+ years coaching and doing Reiki sessions earlier in my journey, here's what I learned. The best possible way to strengthen your connection to your intuition is to start with your body, because your body knows. Your body is the answer, is the map, is the compass, is the guide. Your body already knows, and your mind is usually catching up to what your body already knows. Your mind then explains it, but your body knows. So any practice, like for me, it started with yoga. I was pretty disconnected from my body for the first half of my life. And earlier in my early in my 20s, I started practicing yoga, and that's how I started to rekindle that connection to sensation, to feeling, to being in my body and not dissociating and not leaving my body whenever there was a trigger, whenever there was some fear activated, whenever I was out of my comfort zone. And yoga was my first entry point. Find yours. For me, then it changed and became, there was some meditation, there was some exercise, embodiment practice, nonlinear movement. Right now, it looks like many different ways. There are practices that I've outgrown, practices that I left behind, and practices that I integrated that I knew, like dancing with nonlinear movements. That means unscripted, without um, trying to move in a way that is not my usual way, trying to move in a way that is not habitual. And that is a modality developed, not dance, but nonlinear movement is a modality developed by Michaela Bowen, which is my teacher. And I'm trained in the embodiment nonlinear movement method that basically helps you reconnect with your body. And like your body already knows. And here's what I want to say. Intuition, your inner wisdom lives in your body, but also fear lives in your body. Also doubt lives in your body. So two, two caveats, two notes come with this. Number one, don't my heartfelt suggestion is to not see fear and intuition as like completely separate, black and white. I already talked about this in another video because they always, not always, often come as a package. Because often what your intuition is calling you to do, is inviting you to do, is going to trigger fear. Because your wisdom wants you to grow. Your inner genius wants to expand. Expansion comes at the cost of comfort. So, of course, it's going to trigger fear. Of course, it's going to trigger doubt. Of course, it's going to trigger all the ways you want to sabotage your way into growth, into experiencing more of what you want in life. That's a given. So often they come as a package. So your number two, your best ally is your body. Like learning, get into feeling the sensations in your body, get like so detailed that you understand when you're experiencing fear, how fear speaks to you, how fear feels in your body. We might have common patterns as humans, as a shared experience, but fear is going to speak and feel different for you as it does to me, as it feels to me. And same with the intuition. Get detailed, get nuanced, like get into the nitty-gritty of feeling what intuition feels like in your body, how intuition speaks to you. Because that's going to be your best way to discern when is wisdom telling you, hey, we want to go right. We want to go right, not left. We want to choose this, not that. Instead of when it's fear that is trying to hold you back. And fear, let's not demonize fear. We want fear to be there. It has biological reasons. But unless you are in a life-threatening situation, most of the times fear's job is to hold you back because it just wants to protect you, and whatever is not familiar is scary because you don't know. You don't know who you're going to become on the other side of it. You don't know what's ahead. It's uncertain. It's blurred. It's not clear. It's not sure. It's not certain. So, of course, it's fear's job to hold you back. And yeah, that was point three. So if you want to strengthen intuition, point three, yes, get connected to your body, to your physical sensations. I'm just looking at my notes because you get really experienced at tuning out the noise. Because sometimes with the fear, sometimes fear it's absorbed from, it's just absorbed from external projections. Because sometimes people interact with you. Maybe you share your dream, your vision, what you want to build, create next. And people, the way they're going to interact with what you just shared, might carry their own fears, their own projections. And if you're sensitive, if you're an empath, or if you're just someone who's open-hearted and cares, pay attention because sometimes we might absorb some of those projections and just carry fears that were never ours. But fear, it's kind of contagious. Fear is kind of contagious. And the antidote, the as the chakra system teaches, the antidote to fear is trust. It's really root chakra, first chakra, the first energy center that develops in the womb. The antidote to fear is trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the world, trust in your wants, desires, trust in life. And I think this is my addition to, I don't know, thousands old tradition, thousands year old tradition. My addition is that courage is also part of that antidote cocktail. Courage is the root of courage is core, which is heart. What's on your heart? That's, I think, your why you're doing it, why you're called forward, why you're called to grow, why you're called to do the uncomfortable thing, why you're called to take the leap, even if it's scary. That why is the reason, it's the thing that activates you. It's the thing that that makes you want to say yes, even in the face of fear. There's a little bit of trust and there's a little bit of courage. It's a cocktail, it's a sprinkle, it's a salad, but a seasoning of trust and fear, of trust and courage. And yeah, so find your embodiment practice. Find a practice that gets you to be in the body. Embodiment, it sounds very sophisticated, but it's just being in the body. Find something that gets you to be in the body and feel the sensations in the body. It might be yoga, it might be even strength training, maybe lifting weights, it might be speaking to the ocean, hugging a tree, walking barefoot on grass, painting, singing, dancing in the kitchen when no one's watching. Find your thing, but connect to your body. And for me, how it has evolved over time, as I said, I started with yoga And now it's kind of, I don't have like the same practice that I do every day because I'm at the point where I trust that it's embodied. It's no longer something I need to stay consistent at. It's part of how I show up in my day. So if sometimes I don't do the official practice, the formal practice, I'm still practicing informally, unofficially throughout the day by just catching myself and choosing to be present when I'm eating, when I'm preparing my meals, when I'm with my partner, when I'm with my mom, when I'm having a coffee with a friend, when I'm on a Zoom call, whenever I can, to be as present as possible. Because that's also my commitment to life and to living life. I don't want to be on my deathbed and regret having not having been present. I think that's going to be like, I want to savor to be fully present in every single moment. And your being in the body, it's the vehicle, it's how you do that. Because we have a body to experience the world. We have a body because the way we experience the world and sensation and feelings, emotions, joy, pleasure, pain, grief, happiness, fulfillment, purpose is through the body. Your body lets you know how you're feeling. So find that one thing and rest assured that while you are practicing being in your body, you're strengthening your intuition and your connection with your inner wisdom. And I think the more we are connected with our inner wisdom, the more we get to show up coherently, like in alignment, in integrity with who you are. And for me, that's a good enough reason because I no longer have as many moments as I used to have in the past where I'm living a conversation that maybe it was triggering, maybe it was difficult to have, maybe it was hard without regret, without regret of I wish I didn't say that thing that way because maybe I reacted or I was too intense or regret, like, I wish I didn't stay silent and I said what I was actually feeling or what I thought or what I wanted to say, which for me is even more painful. Like, if I look back at my life, all the times where I stayed silent because I was living my body, it was too much to process. I just didn't have the words and also the skills because communication under triggering situation is also another muscle we get to train. Leaving those conversations feeling like I didn't speak up for myself, I didn't take up space, I didn't show up in the way I wanted was even more painful to regret the times where I just reacted, or maybe equally painful. But I no longer have nearly as I had to travel back quite a lot to find the last time that happened. And I'm so happy. And that is all due to embodiment work alone. Because being present is the commitment I have to myself, to my loved ones, and to my clients, and to the people I work with, and the world at large. Because the more present I am with myself, the more I can show up in integrity, the more I get to contribute in the way I want and I know I'm here for. I hope this is landing. Yeah. So get it wrong. Start getting it wrong because that's how you learn. Start or continue connecting with your body because that's how you strengthen that muscle. And the ripple effect of being more connected to your body, to your genius, it's infinite. Infinite potential resides within you. And we are at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, I'm Marina. I make new videos every day to remind you that the life you desire, the life you want, the life that's calling you, that purpose-filled life, it's just one leap of courage away. I'll see you tomorrow.